Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. For today's video I've collected 6 of my favorite DIY fall home decor ideas. It's a combination of few different decorations in different styles, so hopefully you will find something you like. For my first project, which is wreath, I've collected few items such as a willow wreath, artificial flowers in fall colors, few extra pieces like small pumpkins and acorns. I'm going for more traditional fall wreath this time, and to attach all these items to the empty wreath, I will be using hot glue. I start with the biggest objects and I wrap the leaves around the wreath. If you don't want to use the glue, you can always wrap all the items with thin wire. This way you will be able to change the look of this wreath next year, for example. There is no rules to be followed. All what I do at first is placing individual items around the wreath into nice composition, and once I'm happy with the result, I start gluing them. This wreath can be also done with fresh flowers, but these of course won't last you for too long. If you prefer more of the traditional fall decoration, this wreath will be perfect. You can also use flowers from the thrift store and make it even cheaper to create. Next project is perfect if you have many unwanted wooden curtain rings. I actually bought mine in thrift shop and I have them in 2 different sizes. I start with removing the metal hooks. You can save them as they don't take much room and you might need them in the future for one of your projects. Then I sand this part slightly down. I start with bigger rings. I put the glue all around and then glue next ring on top of it. I press it for a few seconds and then repeat the process. I keep all holes in one line and also all rings nice and straight. The height of the new vase will of course depend on how many rings I'm going to use. Once it's all complete, I take orange acrylic paint and mix it with baking soda. One layer of the paint is not enough, so we'll have to apply another one later on. With the smaller rings, I've created taller vase and I painted in a peach color. To create pumpkin out of plaster of Paris, you will need some thin ties. Color of course doesn't matter, you can also use your old ones as long as they don't have any hole. Take the bottom part and create knot. This way you create better and more round shape for your pumpkin. Then cut the rest of the fabric off, about 20 centimeters away from the knot. And repeat on the other leg if you want to create 2 pumpkins. The ideal ratio for a plaster of Paris mixture is 3 parts of plaster powder to 1 part water, but you can see it by eye when it's the right consistency. It can't be too watery as it might go through the fabric, but it can't be too thick as it dries out so quick and you won't have enough time to create pumpkin shape. Mix it well to avoid any lumps. Take your sock and put it inside container, wrapping its ends around the container edge. It will make the filling process much easier. And then start moving your plaster inside the sock. Of course, more you put in, the bigger pumpkin you will achieve. Leave the sock up and shake it to spread the plaster evenly. Move it onto a plate and tie the knot at the top. As I've said before, plaster of Paris sets quick, so you have to be also quick with creating the pumpkin stands. And to make them, I'm using cord which I wrap around the ball in few places. Pull the cord so it actually squeezes the ball shape. And in this position, I leave it till it's fully dry. I've left it for about 24 hours to be sure it's fully curled. I cut the string first and then gently remove the fabric. Nylon created really nice texture to this plaster. It almost looks like the baking soda paint effect. I've decided to go for very autumn vibe and paint this pumpkin orange. Even that I'm not the biggest fan of this color, I quite like this shade of orange. It's acrylic paint and it gives a really good coverage. And for my second pumpkin, I've mixed the same orange paint with some white one to achieve more of the pastel orange color. For the pumpkin stems, I'm going to use these plastic stems from my other polystyrene pumpkins. You can use whatever you want, like wooden stick or thick rope. I basically glue my stems in the middle using hot glue. When September starts, you can find many Halloween and fall decorations in any store. I found this ceramic orange flower pot in the shape of pumpkin. I'm not the biggest fan of bright orange decoration, so I've decided to paint it. I'm using a mix of beige and white acrylic paint, and with the brush I cover the whole pumpkin. Because of the bright color, I will have to use few layers of the paint to actually cover it properly. In this case, spray paint would be a much better choice. I take piece of styrofoam and draw 2 circles. They will go inside of my pot so the diameter can be bigger than the size of the planter hole. And then using knife, I'll cut them out. I've got 2 as I'm gonna place one on top of the other one. This styrofoam is quite thin. Now I move them to the inside of the planter. I've collected all of my artificial flowers and leaves. I also have some pampas grass. I'm going for more subdued colors, so I probably won't use any of the bright yellow or red flowers. But this part you can customize whichever way you want. Go for the colors you like and match your interior. With arranging the flowers, trust your instinct. I'm placing 3 flowers and greenery around them. Longer piece I place at the back of my bunch. I think pampas grass add more of the rustic look. I'm happy how this project came out. It will create perfect fall decoration for your table, and you can always play around with the flowers, changing their arrangement. My next wreath will be more modern and simply looking. This time I'm using metal hoop as a base for my wreath. I take 5mm thick macrame rope and measure the circuit of my hoop. And then I take 3 times that length. Altogether I will need 6 strings in this length. For easier work, I've taped all the strings to my table. With double strings, I create a basing braid. I don't tighten them too much and try to keep the same width. Once I've reached the end, I take thin thread and wrap it around the bottom of the braid. Then I do the same at the top of my braid. This way it's nicely secured. I place metal hoop in the middle part of the braid and glue it all the way around. I use quite a fair amount of the glue so it stays all secured. You can always put extra string on top of this glue to cover it all up. For extra decoration, like also to cover 2 ends of the braid, I glue a few of the wooden beads. I take few branches of artificial leaves and glue them at the angle down on the back of the wreath. To be able to hang it, I attach small hoop made out of the cord and my new simple and modern looking wreath is ready. To create fabric pumpkin, you will need any kind of fabric in your favorite color or pattern. Cut it into square shape. Size depends on how big you want your pumpkin to be. I've got 4 squares in different sizes to create a set of 4. If your fabric is double-sided, that's perfect, but if it's like mine, place it with the better side facing up. Create a line of glue on the one edge of the square. I'm using hot glue, but it can be fabric glue or you can even sew it if you wish. Fold fabric in half and glue 2 edges together. Take the shorter side of your rectangle shape now and gather it together. Wrap it with some rope or thread to secure. This will create the bottom of my new pumpkin. Turn the fabric inside out. Now you can see why it was important to glue the other side of the fabric. To fill it and make it super soft, I'm using filler from the old pillow. I make sure it creates one big and round ball. I twist the spare fabric on the top and again secure it with the rope. To make pumpkin shape out of this ball, I take the string and wrap it tight around, creating the bulging typical for the pumpkin. Altogether, I create 8 of them, trying to keep the same size. And then I wrap the end of the cord to the stem. I'm cutting the spare fabric off, leaving only few centimeters of it. To create the stem, I'm using some kind of jute rope, but it really can be anything. I just go with it around the fabric, make it slightly thinner at the top. Altogether, I've created small family of 4 pumpkins. All of them are in different color and size, but because of the same tone of the pastel color, they go really well together. If you enjoyed this video and like the ideas, make sure to leave the thumb up and subscribe for more ideas. And for now, thank you for watching and I will see you next time.